Hey guys, I talk often about the culture war, um, and that's kind of the direction in which I want these videos to probably go. The content. I'm not an economist. I never said I was. I'm not a. I can't tell you anybody in Congress. I can't tell you stuff like that. That I don't. I'm not a political science person. My mom had a degree in it, but that's not what I am. Um, just giving you my viewpoint on how I see the world. So, Derek Chauvin was found guilty yesterday of all counts. Talked about that already. Um, Greg Gutfield, he has his own show now. He was on the Five, Fox News, and what the Five is, it's kind of like they have the Five. They have with Outnumbered. These are all like right wing spin shows on like leftist stuff, like The View and stuff, and it's not funny because conservative stuff's not funny. I mean, I saw something Greg Gutfeld was making fun of Joe Biden, and he was like, "I hope the left defunds, I hope the left taxes all these corporations." It's just stuff wasn't funny. Like people, you could tell it was all fake. The crowd was kind of like, "Oh, this is funny." I mean, it's not funny because they're not because all that is basically mouthpiece shit for the rich, and everybody knows it. But stay on subject. So Greg Gutfeld's talking about he's with Judge Janine Pirro. She's on there, and they're talking about how, um, yeah, he's hopeful that Derek Chauvin will get convicted, but that he was more concerned about the riots, and in essence called it a form of extortion. That if they hadn't found him guilty, that there had been riots, and he was happy there wouldn't be any riots in his neighborhood. And I watched it, and it just hit me that I'm literally listening to a privileged white man talking. And I'm like, this is the real white man here. Like, David Packman and all of them, they're talking about issues that I'd like to believe they actually care about, they believe in. Greg Gradfeld's giving you game. He's telling you, listen, I'm a privileged white man. I can look beyond the rose colored glasses and see wrongdoing and acknowledge that, yeah, this is wrong or that was wrong. But I'm more concerned about the jag in the driveway. I want to go play golf. I want to go to Paris this summer, and I want to go to Cabo, and I want to get on my big boat and hold parties and go to Starbucks and shit like that. And I don't give a shit about some nigga getting killed in Kansas City or some spit getting shot in Harlem. He doesn't care. And I'm listening to him and I'm like, yo, he's really giving you the game. I mean, you may not like it. I may not like it. But this is how white folks think. And it just touched me. This is maturity. This is growing up. This is what it means to be a man. I can sit here and watch Greg Gutfeld 15 minutes and pick him apart. He can't watch Michael Brooks. He can't sit here with me and watch Michael Brooks. I can watch Greg Gutfeld because I know white people. Grew up with him, got to school. I know how they think. He's telling you how privileged white people think. These are white folks that live in and come from very cloistered areas. They don't understand black or Hispanic culture or Asian culture. They don't want to understand those cultures. They don't care. That's not of any value to them. And there's always a certain alienation. There's always a certain... You're always going to be wrong with them. You're always going to be guilty with them until proven innocent. And that's just the way it is. And I thought to myself, when I first heard him say that, I thought about how I was kind of um, psychotic, if you will, the psychotic nature of Fox News over the years, that they're almost kind of like psychopaths or sociopaths, in that Greg Gutfield is kind of cruel. Like, I listen to him. Even when he's on the five, he's a really cruel person, and he masks it in like a fake humor, but it's very egotistical. He isn't the only one on Fox who's like this. I'm just using him as an example because it comes to mind. I don't watch it often, very rarely. He's kind of cold. Like, Fox News is almost like maybe it's okay to bomb and kill over 1 million people in a decade who never attacked America. Maybe it's okay to shoot people in the back 15 times. Maybe, these people are inferior. Like, they do that. And Thom Hartman said it a while back. It's a video, I should watch it again. We talked about, is the Republican Party a collection of sociopaths? I think he might be right. I think he might be right. I've got to be honest. As I get older, he may be right that there is a psychopathy there. There is a sickness. There is a cruelty. There is a rage that's masked, and it's not masked very well, but it's there. And it just got me that I can sit here and watch Greg Guff, and I could become a part easily, as I know what that is. This is a white man talking. He's telling you, I don't care about George Floyd. So what? He probably deserved it anyway. That what was done was wrong, not in the sense of George Floyd being a human being who was shit under his lug and then was murdered in a country that does this where he shouldn't have been murdered. Greg Gutfeld is like, it's wrong because he technically broke procedure. That's how white folks think. That's how he thinks. I'm giving you the game. I'm telling you white folks how they are. Greg Gutfeld's like, he violated policy. And, I'm sure Fox News, they tell them guys like, hey, this is where we stand. This is where big stuff like big stories like George Floyd, they're like, listen, Nazis are bad. You can't use racial slurs, basic things. This is probably one of those basic things of, if you're going to broadcast, you got to start with, this is wrong. So, okay, yeah, it's wrong. But it just got me that Judge Jeanine Pirro came out and was saying that we don't sacrifice people for property or something like that. And I'm just like, it's amazing because I thought she was more extreme than that. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing to me that with Trump and with the last 4 years, and especially with 2020, which is bad, I look at these conservatives as like pure vermin and pure trash, and that there's nothing they wouldn't say or do. And so it shocks me when it shouldn't, because all Judge Jeanine Pirro is doing is falling back on what? Being a judge. She's falling back on the law. She's falling back on her years in practicing law. When you study law, I study criminal justice. When you study these things, it becomes a part of you to where you see things and you're like, okay, boom, boom, you fall back on these things. And for her, she's telling you the way society sees things. And it actually shocked me more that she corrected him than it did where he comes out pushing his white privilege card. Oh, like I said, I don't give a damn about some nigga getting killed or some spit getting killed. I care about the Jag in the driveway and the Starbucks down the street. And I'm planning on getting on the big boat and going to Cabo. And I'm going to France. And I'm, I expect that from him. I expect that from these people now. I expect them running out here with guns and vests on to protest the quarantine during a worldwide pandemic. America's at war. We've got to understand how these crackers think and not get so emotional and take things so personal. You must understand how they think because they don't care about how we think. That's very clear to me. I don't matter. My life does not matter. My life does not mean shit. And yours doesn't either. At all. You know, the great Gutfield basically was giving you the game on the way how they see us. Thank you for listening.